So tell me more.
Tell you more?
You're going through a doorway.
Yes. You're walking through a doorway in an underground cavern, surrounded by dark elves.
And you're moving quite quickly.
Yes, I am a monk, and I have a speed boost.
Speed boosted monks are the best.
I know, right? Fantastic. This is not where I meant to go.
This is not where you meant to go.
No.
You meant to go elsewhere.
I was playing multiplayer with Andrew while we were sort of recording footage for the trailer for this.
Yeah.
And he knows exactly where to go. I do not have that luxury.
So what I find hilarious, we had a bug earlier yesterday where for some reason the dialogue system was sending notifications.
No, yeah, where like Pavel was sending an actual notification to your phone.
Yeah. Andrew was like, "Who is Pavel and why is he notifying me?" It's like, it's actually Pavel from Neverwinter notifying you that he's trying to say hello.
Pavel sent you a message. Have you seen my brother Bim?
Yeah. Pavel was trying to cross
Just
the
in notification section on your smartphone.
Cross the fourth wall. He's
Yes.
like, I am in your world.
Pavel was no longer just cornering you as soon as you leave the main room of the.
He was definitely starting to embrace elements of Nuber. Wow.
There you go. That needs to be our notification delivery system. Just
That is-
Uber.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
think that would be a good
you
way to
doing?
lose all of our fans.
What are you
on
up
Android.
to? What's going on?
Killed a dragon yet?
Mm-hmm. If you could actually make it through without killing Nuber right at the end, he would actually give you an XP boost. He's like, "Okay, you didn't murder me, which I totally thought you would."
This is just an elaborate suicide ploy.
Yep.
Oh man, where am I going? What am I doing?
I don't know. You're
I'm an
lost,
idiot.
man.
Yeah. Oh, there you
You're
go.
running around in
That's
the
where I
wilderness.
intended to go right there.
That's where
I
you
just-
intended to go.
Yeah. I want to go through this. Yeah. It's like, you shouldn't go through here. Surprises. Open the gates.
Open the damned gates, man. You're going beyond the gates.
I did. I went far beyond the gates.
You like tapping. You're not
Today I'm
driver?
tapping.
You're a tapper today. You're not a driver.
Yeah, well, there's still a minor bug with the drive mode when you have a monk with a speed boost, where
Okay.
sometimes she just starts to skate around the world, as opposed to like running, and it looks ridiculous. So,
That sounds sad.
yeah, I like my monk here, but it can be kind of silly. Oh, there's that guy.
See,
Chasing
now I've
off.
made you all self-conscious. Now you got to do drive mode.
No, I can't talk. I can do things in drive mode. Oh, yeah, I just fell down this hole. Yeah,
You fell down a hole.
nah, some other guy fell down a hole.
Some other guy.
Some other guy. Some drow dude.
Would it be Jimothy Rando?
Oh boy, Umber Hulks. We're in trouble now.
You are in trouble. I always loved Umber Hulks.
Umber Hulks are great.
They are so cute. They're literally like the cutest guys ever.
When I was when I was a kid, I would play D&D with my brother, and we never played with minis.
Okay.
But we had minis, like we bought minis just because like they were D&D paraphernalia,
And
basically.
they were cool.
Yeah, because they were sweet and awesome, and we had like the second edition Umber Hulk that it just looked like I don't know, a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
Just Bam Bam Bigelow with two like mandibles.
Oh my
coming off
God,
of
Bam
either
Bam
side.
Bigelow with the fire. I totally remember Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh, he was the best. He was apparently the worst, actually, but.
I just love the Umber Hulks.
Oh yeah, no, Umber Hulks are fantastic. I'm a fan.
I love their little screen.
Nothing, yeah.
Their confusion ray that they do. They are so awesome. Oh, here's a question for us. Will Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition Mobile have in-app purchases, XP boosts, and loot boxes?
Is that something you want?
Once upon a time at Beamdog, we tried to make a mobile game.
Yep.
Like a mobile freemium thing, and we failed.
Yep.
We actually abandoned the project because we got into this whole monetization discussions, and we were like, how do we make people pay for it? Because it'll be free, and we need to pay people to work on the game and ship it and everything. And in the end, we killed the project because we couldn't figure out how to do pay to play without sucking.
Mm.
So the moral of the story, no. We're going to ship out Neverwinter on mobile, and it's going to be the same Neverwinter you have on a desktop.
Yeah, sorry guys, it's a premium product.
You're going to have to pay up front, and then you'll be able to enjoy it without a whole bunch of
Not
extra
free to play,
crap popping
no loot
up.
boxes. What you gonna do?
You're going to be thankful because this is
Yes.
the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It's the right way to make games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
And the fact that it's on the mobile platform, it's the same game, dude.
It is. I mean, that's like the really cool thing about Neverwinter on Android is it is just the same game.
It's the thing that kind of terrifies me. It's like this was cutting edge. This was maxing out the capabilities of PCs like 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And today it's like, I'm playing it on my phone, dude. It's just my phone.
Yeah, I mean, it has limitations as yet still that some PCs didn't have, but it works surprisingly well. Like I was floored when I came and started working with Beamdog and saw the just the smoothness and like the perfection with which we have actually like moved this game onto mobile.
It's been pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah, like I was in a different company a while back, and we did a port of Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 when I was working at Frontier many years ago. And like, yeah, it's crazy just how like transferable, I guess, or just like how similar these devices are to stuff from like 15 years ago. So
yeah, now the hardware, I mean, performance-wise, everything. Wow, you attract a lot of Umber Hulks.
I do.
That's impressive. I admire your Umber Hulk ability. You should like form a little pack with them. This is my little buddies. We're gonna go for a walk now. Come on there, Umby and Umby too.
I want to see an Umber Hulk PC character or like a teammate.
I think we actually talked about one at one point. We think we talked about a bunch of ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Here's a question from the fans. Are you in your new office? No, we are still broadcasting from Beamdog East.
Yeah.
Beamdog West is actually currently under construction.
Yep.
They're putting walls up and taking walls down, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, there's a bunch of folks that are currently in there.
So I'm about half time there.
Mm-hmm.
I have an office over there and I have an office over here. So I'm actually leading an unannounced project over here while CEOing from over there. So it's pretty cool.
Who you are is different depending on which building you're in.
I'm kind of a big deal. Got two offices.
Yeah.
Not really. My one's not an office. I'm just kind of
that's
in the pit with the devs, doing the thing, asking the questions, and usually being told, yeah, we're aware of that. We totally know about that bug. It's been filed. Yeah, we're already fixing it. Thanks for showing up, Grandpa. I'm like, dude, harsh, man. But it's it's good. It's fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's not unlike my experience with Neverwinter.
Yeah, you
it's
roll
like,
in, you're
this
like,
thing, and it's
I
like,
found the thing, and they're like, yeah, we know about it. Nice to see you actually playing the game, though.
Oh, of course.
That's what the QA here is like. Oh, you actually play? You're not just a substanceless talking head. So here's a question.
Yeah.
The most popular Trello card is devoted to new content for the old official campaigns, including Hordes of the Underdark. May we expect to have Ensark's quest finished and the hero of Neverwinter being a protagonist in Hordes of the Underdark? No. Right now, we've got no plans to revisit those stories. Right now, we are great guns on mobile. We're moving that forward. Android is getting close.
Yep.
Getting close. And after Android, of course, we'll switch gears and go to the next thing, and it'll be good.
Yeah, actually, we my team and I, me and Niv and Julius and Robin and Amy, I think, just the other day, recently sat down and sort of went over the top voted Trello cards in the input board and went over the things that we can accomplish in a reasonable timeline and the things that aren't. And one of them, as noted there, is sort of additions to the original content or like a sequel to Witch's Wake and stuff like that. And like there is a lot of interest in original content updates and stuff like that, but like we're interested in doing some original stuff pretty soon.
I think one of the big things to call out is that the Neverwinter install base, the size of it has a direct feed on how much new content we're developing and how much redoing of content is. Yeah. And that's one of the things we're kind of scaling with. It's like, as we make more sales of Neverwinter, we have more interest and more financial resources to pour back into the game. So
tell your friends.
Tell your friends. Buy it. Here's a question. What about achievements?
Achievements are moving at a pretty good pace. Elise is expected to have all of the achievements for Wailing Death and just sort of standard gameplay achievements all finished by the end of this week, with a little bit of wiggle room for one or two small, slightly more difficult to achieve ones, or things that need to be hooked into unusual circumstance type things, because that's the sort of thing
so
that
the ones that would be really, really cool.
Yeah, some of the really cool ones, right? But she's finishing those this week, and then moving on to Hordes of the Underdark and Shadows of Undertide achievements after that. So we are on track, and achievements will be ready by the time we release the Android build.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. I've been looking through them, and there's some fun stuff in there.
So I have paper in front of me, so I should probably pay attention.
Let's take a look at the paper. Yeah.
Paper says
We're
intro
like
news, play Neverwinter Mobile. So we flipped the order on that. So Beamdog news. You! Yes, you! Should work at Beamdog. We're looking for web devs, programmers, lead programmer, quality assurance testers, and technical artists, and a network system admin.
Yes.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, a fair number of openings, and
think about how much money those people are going to cost. My God, man! My God!
Yes, but without them, the games don't get made.
That is true. Yeah. So we're growing, and we're looking for some good people to add to our team. So that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm looking forward to seeing the group continue to grow. We got a new guy starting on Tuesday, which is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, and we just had a new guy start on this Monday. So
yeah, it just keeps on happening.
Every day, fresh faces emerge. It's like, hi, I'm the shiny new guy. I'm going to do the thing. And you're like, all right, shiny new guy, you go do the thing.
Yeah. It's an interesting time for the newest of the new folks to be joining in, just because like they're going to be just getting comfortable in their desks when we move over to the new office.
Yeah, it's like move, and then be like, yeah, we just shipped your product. Next product. What am I doing? Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, I started like 3.5-4 months ago, and. Yeah, I still haven't brought in a lot of stuff for like my desk and so on, because it's like, we're going to be moving to the new office.
We're going to be moving pretty soon. Yep, pretty soon. So it says here, new office update.
Yes.
New office. We do have a new office. We are currently split across East and West, which we call them. East is our current building, which is 3,700 square feet.
Where we are now.
Which has a lot of character.
Character is a good way to put it.
A lot of character.
Yes.
Perhaps too much character. In kind of the falling down into the sinkhole called the Hellmouth kind of character thing. So we're looking to move, and we found our new space, and a few team members are over there. One sub-team is over there. And there are a whole bunch of contractors stomping around, putting up walls, taking walls down, and basically changing the entire office around. At some point, we can run over and take a look and show people what it looks like. I've been taking pictures kind of as it goes.
Do
but I'm not going to share them until it's done.
In progress sort of time lapse.
Dan's saying, we'll take some videos. We'll walk through. So we'll take a bunch of videos, and we won't show you anything for quite a while. Because that's what we're all about, is promising things and not giving them.
We will document.
We
and
actually,
then
we actually have
will-
a spinner in the back room. It's like, how long should we delay this thing? Ooh, 6 months.
It's like
Naughty.
it's like Valve and Half-Life 3. Every time somebody asks for Arcanum,
Yep. 2 weeks added. No soup for you. Here's a question. How many programmers are you looking for? All. We're looking for all the programmers.
all of them.
All.
Yeah,
Many
quite a few.
programmers. So philosophically, we've been hiring a lot of programmers, and we're actually growing other groups and departments out of those programming hires. So our designers are actually emerging from the programming hires.
Yep.
It's one of our secret plans. If they know how to program and they become a designer, they can program their own design stuff. And it's brilliant.
Yeah, programming into technical design and
Yep.
stuff like that. It comes out well.
We've talked for this long and we've literally covered 2 points.
Hey, we're doing our job right.
Oh, do we need to? That's internal stuff. We don't need to talk about that.
I kind of like the naming stuff that's happening.
Okay,
there, though.
fair enough. So our trusty internal server, Saravoc, Saravoc's going down. He's going down bad.
Yeah, Saravoc is our file sharing server here in the office. It's where everybody keeps all the temporary data and stuff like that, as well as just like random documents from 10 years ago.
He's dying. He's dying bad.
Poor Saravoc.
And ugly. And so we've got NWN in his place, taking files. So all of our servers are named after Baldur's Gate characters.
Yeah, Saravoc is now read only.
Yep. NWN has taken over.
NWN is
Khalid
the
and
new file
Jahira
sharer.
are happily kicking away as part of the build process machines. It's pretty cool. Another thing, we just got a box sent to us
We did.
from our friends at Wizards of the Coast. I wonder if the hand of Dan can grab the box. No, it's right behind you. He's like, no, it's in your office, dude. Come on, hand of Dan, step up your game, man.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. It is the hand of Dan showing off Axis and allies and zombies. Zombies.
This
Did
game
I
is
say
going to be
zombies?
a hell of a lot of fun to play.
Should be interesting. It's got things that I love.
Yep.
I love. You got no tanks on the picture. I love tanks.
There are tanks. There are chainsaw tanks in Axis and Allies and Zombies. Yeah.
Chainsaw tanks.
You get chainsaw tank technology so that you can fight the zombies more
It
effectively.
would make sense.
Yep. My favorite thing about ANAs and zombies is every time infantry dies, they just come back as zombies,
Oh,
and they
crap.
just so you can do like tactical infections and stuff like that by sending just a couple of infantry to die against somebody's like tanks.
Oh no, man, that's so bad.
Yeah. So thank you to our friends at Avalon Hill
Yeah.
and Wizards of the Coast for
Sending us
over
a
copy.
box of goodness. They send us a lot of boxes of stuff.
Mhm.
And they also sent us some magic cards, but Cam totally wanted to scoop them on everybody. So Cam and I are currently arm wrestling for the cards so that we can decide what to do with them. Because last time we did a tournament in the office, it was a lot of fun, but it literally wiped us down for like a day and a half. Everybody's like building their deck. It's like, Mark, you got to help me. I don't know how good my deck is. And Mark would be like, your deck is crap.
It's true, though. Yeah, we had an in-office tournament. We talked about it a month or two ago.
Yeah, an in-house Magic the Gathering game. And I had a pretty good deck, and I got mana screwed. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I declined to participate in the Magic the Gathering tournament this last time because that's a habit that I had in junior high that I probably shouldn't pick back
Dude,
up.
I fought off that infection. I am purged that stuff.
I've been clean for 10 years.
Don't get me going again.
Yeah. Also, I have a tendency to build like just stupid decks, like all goblins or.
So we used to have card games at BioWare at lunch, and we played Texas Hold'em.
Nice.
So I would alternatively play for victory or for comedic index. How funny would it be if this hand were to win? and the answer is, it's actually really funny when a total crap hand wins, when you can just push it through. Or it hits on the river and everybody's like, oh man, that's such crap. Yeah, you shouldn't have beat me with that. It's junk hand. I got beat, bad beat, man, bad beat.
Win with Jack High or something like that.
It's like off suite 2-7 and it fills in and you're like, check it out. Look at my quad twos, baby. Everybody's like, oh. You suck, man. You're like, no, that was funny. That was like, I was totally playing that for the comedic index. We should probably give away a T-shirt.
Yeah, let's give away a T-shirt.
I think we're giving away the same T-shirt that I am wearing today. The
gray Planescape T-shirt.
The gray Planescape T-shirt.
Yes, we've switched over to giving away Planescape T-shirts. If you missed that last week, so yeah, Night Zipper.
We give away whatever T-shirt we feel like giving away.
It's true.
Sometimes we might just give you away like a 7-Up T-shirt. Just for the heck of it.
I don't know if we have those.
Let's go and get one of those vintage ones with the Sprite with the little spot.
Yeah, spot. Like cool spot.
Yep. So the winner of
SNES
the
games.
Planescape T-shirt is Night Zipper.
Congratulations, Night Zipper.
Congratulations, Night Zipper.
You won a T-shirt.
Back to the news. You should sign up for the newsletter, and you should tell your friends to sign up for the newsletter.
Yes.
When you sign up for the newsletter and when your friends sign up for the newsletter, it is a statistic that we can talk about to our partners and say, look at us, we're great. We got all these people signed up for the messaging thing. It's good.
And beyond benefits for us, the newsletter will also be probably one of the first alerts that you will get that, for example, the Neverwinter Nights Android beta is live.
Yes.
It is not yet, but that will be announced via newsletter.
But you said those words. You just...
When it is live.
There we go. There we go.
Yes. So the Android beta, when that goes live, it will go out as a newsletter. So watch your email inboxes, and if you aren't already on the newsletter, then you should be. And
you should like sign up your aunt. You should sign up your uncles. You should sign up grandma. Everybody should get that newsletter.
But don't do it without permission.
Yeah, make sure, Grandma, I'm going to sign up for something awesome. You good with that? And Grandma will be like, okay.
Grandma, you love Neverwinter Nights, right? And you have an Android phone. You've seen an Android phone, right? You guys have phones, right?
Yeah. We got a sale, a mobile sale going on, Planescape Torment.
Yes.
It's up on mobile right now. It's 70% off on Google Play, and tomorrow I think it'll be on sale on iOS. If the buttons I clicked take this time, as opposed to just randomly like, you didn't really mean to do that, I'm just going to ignore the buttons you pushed, because obviously you clicking the save button, you were only half serious about that.
Are you sure you wanted to do that?
Yeah. Bad internet is ignoring your input.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we don't kill Neverwinter. I think it's still talking to us once in a while.
Is it?
Because I can hear it. It's chatting with me.
There you go.
I'm like,
it is muted, just in case.
Yep. Last thing I need is somebody messaging me, notifying me. It's like,
have you spoken to my brother Bim yet?
Yeah. Have you seen Bim? Like, dude, you and I, we go way back, and it's not good.
I mean, at least it's Cam Clark, right?
That is true.
Voice. Yeah.
So, Beamdog.com, we got a City of Doors sale. So you can save 50% off PSTEE and the PSTEE OST. OST means original soundtrack.
Yes.
Because I know my letters.
So if you do not, if you already have the mobile version of Planescape Torment and you want it on the PC, which is an unusual order to buy them in, but there you go, then it is half off on Beamdog.com. Or
50%.
Yeah.
50.
Or it's a fantastic, it's a little bit early, but Christmas is just around the corner.
Yeah.
It's a good time to grab Planescape,
gifts.
One of the greatest RPGs
it's
of
required.
all time.
Planescape is required reading.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like, I'm an RPG fan. Have you played Planescape? No. You need to question that first statement you made, my friend.
Yeah.
Our friends at Wizards.
Yes.
Just released two new books.
That's right.
Waterdeep, Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Which looks like it's going to be
which
awesome.
Which looks amazing. You can totally send me my copy now. And Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica.
Yes, the
Magic the Gathering meets D&D, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah, to D&D. I'm interested in seeing how that campaign world works out, but I'm really interested in Dungeon of the Mad Mage because the in-office campaign of Waterdeep Dragon Heist continues forward every other Wednesday, and we're having a good time. Sarah is our DM.
So the thing I'm worried about is like Magic the Gathering meets D&D. It's like, I'm a first level character, and I'm going to roll in. And meanwhile, there's these godlike mages who are summoning creatures like, oh my god! It's like, first level me runs and hides until the big guys go away, and then I will come back out.
I mean, in all fairness, that's not entirely unlike what Dark Sun and stuff like that was like as well.
True. You're like,
mage
I hope the
lords
dragon
coming in.
doesn't see me. I'm gonna blow spit bubbles. I'm scared.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to do like drawing of mana from the land that you're at and stuff like that, though. That'd be kind of cool. I haven't had a chance to read through any of the books yet. We don't have them in the office yet. So
That is true.
We'll grab them, though. And
We
we'll
don't
a
have
read.
the books in the office yet. That's really sad. I wonder how that could get fixed. I wonder if somebody who's paying attention could send us a free copy of those books.
Yes.
God, we're horrible.
Yeah,
We're horrible.
that's
people.
us.
Yep.
All right. Neverwinter News?
Neverwinter News.
Okay, so yes, the mobile beta is coming pretty soon. We're going to...
Because we like those words, soon. And
Yeah.
he even actually added a pretty soon. Pretty soon. Which is not just soon, but pretty soon.
To the point where we were hoping to be able to release it this week, but unfortunately due to...
Showstoppers.
Yeah, some showstopper bugs that came in at the 11th hour, literally 4 p.m. yesterday. We saw that, and it was like, pull the brakes.
Yep. Easy boys.
Don't go out beta.
Yep.
No, bad idea.
She might lose a wheel.
Yeah.
Don't want to go down the mountain with a wheel missing.
So we're fixing that today, and then we will do another smoke test, and then hopefully sometime mid next week we'll be able to.
If things work well,
Fingers
mid
crossed.
next week.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yep.
Possibly.
And we are also hoping to push a stable build as well to the PC version.
Oh my God. Madness.
Yeah. So
it's
gonna be sweet.
here's a question. When and where and how
Yep.
can I give you money for Neverwinter on Android? So when we kick up the beta,
Yep.
the only way to get into the beta is essentially you buy the game and it gets you into the beta.
Yeah, so it is the Google Play opt-in beta system,
Yep.
and what that means basically is there's a setting in Google Play that you can go to and say, I want to play beta versions of this game, and then you can search for Neverwinter Nights. Also, we'll be sending a link to the beta store page for Neverwinter Nights in said newsletter.
Yep.
And then you can go to there, and as long as you are part of the opt-in beta program, you'll be able to purchase the game, and from that point forward, you will be able to play it in its beta state, which I cannot stress enough does still have some bugs, but as previously mentioned, anything that is crashing the game should not be in the beta.
No,
so.
we're hopefully we've nailed all the crash bugs down. I mean, there's going to be some hardware specific stuff that obviously we've got the number of devices we've got, and we've got all the devices that we could manage to wrangle together and test on. There's going to be things we haven't tested, and that's why we want to do the beta.
Absolutely, and you'll still see things like right now, like the skating on the ground instead of walking from time to time when you use the virtual joystick.
Yep.
But these things are smaller and not as critical as getting rid of all of our crashes, so that people can actually play the game.
Exactly.
yeah.
A crash affects everyone. Skating monks affects people who want to play monks.
Yes.
Which is like nobody, because nobody likes monks.
I like monks.
It's like, I'm going to run around naked because I don't need no armor stuff. And
I got a weird thing about playing characters who don't need to wear armor. I have barbarians and monks and...
Well, barbarian in Neverwinter is the default because they get the 12 hit die.
Yeah.
You're like, I want all the hit points.
Yes.
All of them.
And I get natural damage resistance as long as I am running around in a loincloth.
Ponder.
Yes. I can resist damage in direct disproportion to what I am wearing.
Exactly. The more naked I am, the more resistant I am.
Yes. Also, Neverwinter News, if you want to test out NW Sync and you missed it the last couple of weeks, NW Sync is in the dev patch, so grab that, take a look. It is a fantastic piece of software which allows you to download the mods and custom content for persistent worlds and get into them with a much lower barrier of entry than you previously would have had. So,
here's a question.
yes.
Any chance to add a continue button in the BG2 menu?
So that would be like
Essentially,
from the main menu, you hit continue, it just loads the last save
Auto-load
that you
last
made?
save game. It's something we talked about at one point. It fundamentally came down to how much of this UI do we want to obliterate and remake? And the answer is not that much. So I think it's something we were interested in. We just didn't have time to actually go after it. It says Trello time.
Trello time.
Trello
Look at Trello.
time.
Okay. I think I need to.
Right.
Dan
is
right.
He's
Don't do it there. Do it there.
Very interesting noise there, Dan.
Okay. And scroll. Oh no, I gotta open up Chrome.
Dear God, man, what are you doing? Here's a question. How about adding a die kit, like the one with the dialogue, to the official campaigns? We never really thought about that. I mean, the fundamental issue with the official campaign is, imagine a whole bunch of files packed into a nice, elegant thing that works. And then you take that and you open it all up. And when you pack it all back together, it's possible it could change in some tiny, insignificant way that you don't really understand, that introduces a magnitude of bugs. We're scared of it. We're scared every time we have to open up the official campaign. So going in to add anything is kind of scary. Going in to add something as small as a die kit, something that could happen, but I don't think it's in the plan right now.
We did not pre-log into Trello, and our login is not saved.
Oh man, I am sad.
Okay, I just need to enter the URL by hand.
Here's a question.
It's gonna take a minute.
How about prefabs made by Beamdog for sale? Micro content like professionally laid out cities from the Forgotten Realms, like Shadowdale or Fan. The same for NPCs, items, etc. Everything true to the pen and paper. It's an interesting concept. It's something we talked about at one point. But again, it comes down to building content. So I think we always think of content in terms of what we've done historically and what has worked and what didn't work. I really like the Neverwinter kind of expansion model, because it was like, hey, here's Neverwinter Nights. It's a really big game. Hey, you're enjoying that? Okay, here is an expansion. It contains not only a new story, but it contains new art content, new design content, so that you can get the whole mix. And I really felt there was good value there. And I really think that having that value is really important. So I guess we've got Trello up and running.
Yep. I had to type in the URL by hand, but it worked. So here we are.
He had to hand type.
Tap. Well, and look at numbers here. Like,
oh my God.
Capital K is 0.
So
capital C is
what
0.
are we looking at on the Trello?
Okay. So, I just want to go over the active things that we have currently.
Because we're like these tiny little dudes in the corner of the Trello.
Yeah, and I am covering the short-term active right now. It's fantastic. I'm actually going to move that just a little bit over to the left so that you don't have to try and look around my my bald head in order to see what's on the screen.
I prefer the term melon.
My melon. Okay, so let's just go over what we currently have in short-term and long-term active. I think we're going to actually remove these 3-month indicators here, because
sometimes 3 months takes 6.
Yeah, and I mean, like, more than 3 months is only so useful as information. So, but I'm going to we're working on, as I mentioned before earlier in the stream, we have been going through the current list of items that have been voted up like 100 votes or higher on the input board, and I'm actually going to be going over those today and moving a couple of those into this list, so watch out for that coming today. But as we have right now in short-term active TrueType fonts, we are going in.
Yeah, so those are on mobile and working right now. After we go live on mobile, they'll get patched. That we'll essentially rebase back and add those into mainline. So TrueType fonts is actually pretty awesome because it's a font that looks good regardless of how big you scale it, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's a small thing, but it's a big win.
Yeah.
Because the addition of TrueType fonts also allows us to be a lot more I'm a lot more able to scale the UI in various ways. So
yeah, and we can have a good-looking font for each size. It's like, oh, we need a tiny font for currency down here, but we need a big font up here for a heading.
Yeah, and that was one of the major problems that we had previously, that TrueType font sort of was the gatekeeper of, is you used to only be able to scale the UI by double or current or 3 times if you had a particularly large monitor.
Whereas now we can do
1.8, 1.9. We were playing previously on the stream at a 1.9 times scaling.
Nice.
So yeah, bringing NWN EE to mobile devices and consoles. Mobile devices is coming very soon.
Cooking on it.
Yep. 64-bit, we have 64-bit working in an internal build that needs to be merged into Core.
Yeah, so that needs to make it into Core. Mobile needs to make it into Core. We need to fix all the things that explode, and then we can push those going forward. And then we can rebase Android off 64-bit, and we can rebase Live off 64-bit.
Yes.
So those are going to take a bit of time.
Yep, portraits are coming. Adding an option to toggle brightness / a gamma slider. So we have a gamma function currently in the dev build, but it requires a console command. We're going to need to add a slider to the UI, but otherwise it works and it's in there. So if you have had problems with a monitor that was a little bit too dark and you needed to raise the gamma, or a monitor that's particularly bright and you'd like to darken your game, now you can do it.
Yep.
Let's see. Premium modules for module editing and building. We actually have been doing a little bit of touching on the premium modules within the studio, so we are pretty close on being able to do that in a more broad sense. The play movie function for custom content. This one I actually may need to bump out to long-term active because we just need to. It needs more time. We
get so much work and so few devs to work on this. It's tight.
Yeah. Improving shaders to be able to render on objects, not just textures. We have a massive shader rewrite that is currently underway.
Yeah, I mean, Cam's looking at the renderer, and he's off in like hard R&D land. So it will be a while before he returns to the sphere of normality that most humans occupy. We were having a discussion about the renderer, and he was like, basically he was like Mysterio, and he's like in the 6th dimension, and he's speaking to me about it, saying, the macro thing that does the stuff that will thing that is crazy. He's looking at this like, rather than, okay, here's how you actually implement changes within the renderer, he's like, and this is how you would change those parameters. This is a compiler to generate language that would do that, So he's like in the 6th dimension. So for the time to take 6-dimensional things and make them into reality, there's going to be a while. Yeah, so long-term research.
Yes.
How long-term? I'm not totally sure. We have a question, though. How much work does it take to add supports for new texture formats in NWN EE, like DDS, BC 1:7, PNG, etc.? So it depends on the file format. Doesn't take a crazy amount of work, depending if there's an open source library out there that actually has a loader built in for it. The problem comes down to how to take that file format and then reformat it so the engine internally can work with it. And one of the things with doing R&D on our new renderer is, do you want to stick around with the old formats? So we're kind of on freeze on this until we kind of get more of the R&D done and find out what's fast, what's slow, what does Neverwinter do, what does it need to do, how do we make it better? So the answer is it doesn't take much work depending on the format. Some formats take a lot more, and it's one of those things that'll just, it's on a long list of things to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have a fantastic member of our community, Soren, who has joined us to help work on some shaders. He has also been instrumental in updating and optimizing some of the shaders for mobile.
And I think when Cam moves from the 6th dimension to the 5th dimension, we'll reach out and loop Soren in, and Soren will basically be building the 4th dimension.
Yes.
The
whole hierarchy of things.
Serious, like there's literally like some Cthulhu level shit going on there. It's like, to know more is to be mad.
Yeah, so that covers what we've got in short term with a little bit of extra stuff in there. But today, hopefully, I will have time to go in there and grab those items out of the input board and move them in so that you guys can see what is coming down the pipe.
Yeah. We got some other questions here.
Yep.
Here's a vaguely economic question. How successful is NWN EE compared to the original version of NWN? So I don't know if you guys remember, but Atari was like 20th level in marketing and packaging. So it was like Neverwinter Super Edition, Neverwinter Ruby, Diamond, Platinum, Gold. They were selling Neverwinter with toilet paper for a while there. I was like, oh, you want a mouse pad? Have some Neverwinter. This is Neverwinter Toilet Paper Edition. They were really good at that. So they got a lot of copies sold. So the original success of Neverwinter was big. Like Neverwinter and the 2 expansions actually sold pretty close to Baldur's Gate 2, which is probably one of the most successful like D&D titles ever. Yep. So it was pretty awesome.
And it lived on shelves for a while, too.
And I just kept rebundling it. And I was like, can you squeeze any more out of that poor old girl? And they're like, let's make another bundle.
Yeah, I was in Tokyo when Neverwinter came out, and it was on shelves and in Akihabara where I was working. And I was like, yeah, okay.
I was hiding under a race car when Neverwinter shipped. Recovering, healing. It was like a sweat lodge for me. I was like, I'm going to heal through this process. Ultimately, we haven't sold nearly the numbers Neverwinter did when it launched. We're a little below expectations, but I think part of that is the graphics. I mean, I'd like to make it look better. Yeah. I think Baldur's Gate and Planescape and Icewind Dale, when you look at them visually, they look great. They still look great today. Neverwinter was kind of in that period where everything had moved to 3D, and then the novel nature of 3D made them better than the Baldur's Gates of the time. Yeah. But when you look back at them 20, 15 years later,
they haven't aged well.
They haven't aged quite as well because the tech at the time could only do so much. Now, Neverwinter was really pushing it with visual effects and all sorts of fun stuff, but at the same time, there's a limit to how it looks. So that's the main reason we kicked off the rendering project was we can continue piecemeal trying to make this thing look better, or we can go to the root of the problem and just attack it and try to make architectural changes to make this thing look better.
Yeah, so it handles shaders better. It can do things. It can do much more useful things with like normal maps. And
there's been 15 years of innovation in this on the hardware front, on the shader front, on techniques and art process front. So we need to catch up.
Yep,
and
much better
really
shadows,
a challenge.
Poly meshes. Yeah,
totally.
There's a lot that can be done with Neverwinter Nights. Yeah. It's just one of the really nice things about it.
So here's a question: can you reveal your plans for the 20th anniversary? I'm assuming you're referring to the 20th anniversary of Baldur's Gate, which is coming up. I remember it being in late December.
Yep.
Because I remember not sleeping for many days, and then suddenly it was on Christmas holidays, and I just slept a lot. So it was obviously somewhere just before Christmas that we launched that. My plans for the 20th anniversary is I'm going to go in a dark room with a bottle of something and just drink myself into oblivion. Yay! It's been 20 years. But I am kidding. I'll at least leave the lights on. But
a well-lit room and drink himself into oblivion.
So we don't have any official plans for the 20th anniversary, but we'll do something goofy.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have some fun with it.
Absolutely.
That will be fun. Oh, here's another question. Any plans for Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition's first anniversary? No. It's 1 year old. We're still working on the code.
Yeah. When you buy it, larger diapers or something like that at that point.
Well done, little boo. Good job.
Should we look at some IE news?
Oh. You mean we still talk about
that? We
still
have things.
We still work on Baldur's Gate.
Yes, because, people are still interested in these things. We have Baldur's Gate. We have Icewind Dale. The 2.6 patch is coming down the pipe as well. We talk a lot about
the Dice Camera Action Pack.
Yeah, with the Dice Camera Action Pack included in that. It is a patch that includes a lot of spell and rules fixes.
Yeah, and when you say included, you mean 2.6 will support the Dice Camera Action Pack.
Yes, that's correct.
You have to buy it separately.
Well, yeah, you buy Dice Camera Action Pack separately. 2.6 is going to everybody.
Yeah, everybody gets 2.6. Yeah. Everybody don't get the DCA pack.
Well, yeah,
you got to buy that stuff.
It's available to everybody though.
It's open for purchase.
One of the major features of 2.6 is the ability to take those DLC portraits that you purchased from Beamdog or Steam or whatever, and actually show them to your friends in multiplayer, because a multiplayer game with vanity items that you can't actually see is
kind of limited.
As cool.
Yeah,
so
it's like, dude, I got this totally cool portrait that you can't see.
And voice pack, that is awesome, but
that you cannot see. So we're actually adding that in, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's nice that like you can have you and 3 of your friends as Strix, Paulton, Dieth, and Evelyn all running around with your portraits and voice packs and just having a grand old time in Baldur's Gate.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
We actually have community questions here that Julius went and gathered for us.
Yeah, so let's take a look at those.
Oh my God, they're long.
Yep.
So here's a question. IE Mobile, can we get an interface section at the end of the /bottom interface buttons where we can assign temporary party groups? Example, tap on button 1 and order my summons to lead the attack. Then tap a second button and have the melee NPCs then follow in an assault. And then finally tap button 3 for my ranged attackers. That's a good concept. It's kind of a big twiddle on the whole UI selection system.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be essentially us going in and adding almost like a Warcraft group select kind of thing.
Yeah, like control groups.
I think it's a cool concept. We had talked about something along those lines, but we've never done anything towards it. I guess the answer is no.
we would have
no
to
hard
evaluate
plans right
and see
now,
where
but
it goes.
I mean, we're not done with dev on the IE stuff. We still got some work. We still got people touching that code. So
yeah, and that's a cool idea.
At some point, that feature could make it in.
Yep. Something to add to the list.
Question number 2, Neverwinter Nights.
Yes.
Can we get a better way to update our NWN mods with patches so players don't have to restart a module to get the latest fixes and new content?
So yeah, unfortunately, when you save your game, the whole module or very important data to the whole module is saved within the save game, including area states and so on. So we would need to kind of redesign how save games work in order to allow you to update a module and then load in a save.
If this is in the context of a persistent world, what you could do is stand up one area as one module, put a portal to another module, and then you could just down that other module that the portal leads into, and then replace that. I think the key thing to call out is that a module is a self-contained adventure. It contains all areas, all data, everything. So there's no way to really dynamically update that. So it's pretty complicated.
Yeah, it's doable, but it's a new feature, and it would need quite a bit of work in order to get it to work correctly. Like Trent said, there are workarounds for things that can have connected modules.
Yeah, and that's probably the way I would pursue it, because from a game dev standpoint, I mean, if you're modifying data and then trying to push it live while there are people in the world accessing stuff, it's like, I just made a massive non-walk area where people are walking. Okay, what do you do to the people who are walking there? Well, in Neverwinter, the game will probably try and find some rando place nearby where they could actually walk, and it'll teleport them there. And if you had a plan where, I've got this whole area where you have to walk through this maze, and then you get to this end area, it could blow that all away and just teleport them to the end area. So it's not a great idea to try and mod stuff live. I would really suggest that kind of concept of linking portals and having separate areas running on separate servers. I think it'd be a cool concept. Another Neverwinter question. You can see an option in stores or items to force set the price of an item. Current merchants aren't very intuitive in pricing, and not everyone has scripting experience. So you think that +2 AC full plate costs 1,000 GP, but it ends up being 300 GP.
Yeah, so prices of items in Neverwinter Nights are based off of sort of this pricing algorithm that's based off of D&D. So like you can build custom magic items, and the more properties you add to them, they add additional cost, or they basically grow in price. But in the tool set, and a lot of people have been saying that this isn't really accomplishable, and I'm not sure if this is a new feature specifically, but there is this additional cost field in the general tab on item properties that you can use to increase the cost of an item. But as yet, decreasing cost of items is not possible.
Yeah, the reason for that is we use gold piece value for items, kind of determining what level of character can use what items, so that we could restrict it on some servers. So as a player, if I want my server, level 5 characters can't use +3 items. We do that by gold piece value. So +3 property assigns a higher gold plus value than the character can actually equip.
Yeah, which is all standard stuff out of the book, basically. But so there is that small workaround via the tool set right now. But
you can't reduce it below.
Yeah, we'd have to look at what
but
is
it's actually
possible
really
that we
easy
can
to
do there.
like. You don't have to enforce that on your game. You can allow people to equip any items. It's like, I'm a first level paladin with my +5 Holy Avenger. So you can totally do that if you just turn off that property.
But so as far as like a technical solution to that, we can look into if it is possible to decrease the cost of things, but that does open up a can of worms as far as like exploits. Yep. And also, we're not sure how much that would break things, but we are aware of the request for it.
10,000 feet, disable it if you don't want it. That's how I would do it. Here's another Neverwinter question. What's the current situation with the bone count limit?
We have successfully increased the bone limit internally to 82, but there are still some bugs related to it that are preventing us from rolling it out.
Yeah, so in order to go to 82, it was limited to 41, but by rebuilding the format and stripping a bit out, we were able to allocate an extra bit and get 82 bones.
So it used to be much smaller. It used to be like 17 bones or something like that, which is what people are currently dealing with. We were able to bump that up to 41, and then by changing the way that bones worked from a quad into a quaternion, we were able to further double that. So the new limit will be 82, but it's not ready to roll out yet because things like people's heads appearing like 5 feet above their bodies and stuff like that are still happening.
Go and do some research on quaternions, and when you return from that journey into madness, it'll understand why we're still finding bugs.
Yeah, I get to live in the happy little world where I only need to be aware that quaternions exist, and I don't actually have to understand how they work. So
all I know is that way back in the day, I had built this little RC racing game where you drive a little truck over terrain, and it was pretty cool. And I was like, I want to build physics. So I built this fudge physics model, and then I built an Euler angle integrator. And then I was like, hey, I got this problem. When it goes into gimbal lock, it creates this infinite momentum, and my vehicles go shooting off into Nowhereville. So I talked to one programmer at the office, and he's like, oh, you need to build a quaternion integrator. And I was like, okay. So I went off, did the research, and I'm like, I'm not doing this ever. I will never touch this again. It scares me.
Yeah.
We're running out of time, dude.
We're running. Let's blast through these.
What's the current state of the PC body clothing system rework? Any news?
Well, a lot of that is going to be continued on the final result of the rendering system.
So we're deep in R&D land. When we emerge from R&D land, we'll start to have a plan. And when we start to have a plan, we'll start to communicate the plan. Right now, it's just we're asking questions. It's like, why can't I do that? And we're finding the answers.
Yeah, the changes to the rendering system and how that affects just a lot of other internal systems is going to sort of inform how that rolls out.
So here's a question. Any plans to reopen the advisory board under NDA in order to allow more custom content developers to have an early look into how the game development progresses?
So on this one, we're currently keeping our development open through updates to the dev patch and announcing what's in development as things comes closer to realization. We're not really planning on currently starting another council, as we believe that it's wrong to restrict development to a select few special people, aside from people within.
To call it out, I mean, if you want to be on the council, grab the dev branch and start messaging into the forums about it. If you're looking at stuff in dev branch, you're in the community advisory group.
Yeah, we want this to be approachable by everyone, and there is a lot of conversation that happens in like the discords and the format and or the forums. So the main reason that we had the council previously because we weren't able to publicly announce Neverwinter Enhanced Edition. So now that we have it here and we're able to be a lot more open about it, that's sort of the direction that we're taking that.
Okay, question 7 here. This is really long.
This is a big one.
Most exciting thing about Neverwinter EE for the part of the community was the potential on the modding side. You've hired from the community, and there seems to be people with source access that can work on the base game, which is pretty sweet. There's a big gap between that level of involvement and the content creator, though. So the way it works with the engine, we have a license to use the engine. And in order for someone to look at the engine, you have to be bound by the covenants that we as a company are bound to contractually. The only people who can look at source code are people who work for us or who are contracting to us directly. So that's the extent of the limit we can share stuff with.
Yeah. So the a question that sort of comes in later into this this paragraph is how can we get a closer information relationship between the people working on critical changes and the people making content that rely on them, so that they can more easily take advantage of those changes while not also potentially wasting effort. And
so I guess one of the big things right now is we're on that R&D project in the engine. We got to look at 15 years of rendering changes and procedural changes and how everything's built. Based on that research, we'll come back and we'll have a lot more kind of information on that once we start to clear things up. But right now, it is literally deep in the dark R&D stuff.
Yeah, and so I've been quietly lurking on Discord and reading the conversations that people have been having. Hi, Lapushin Bird and Third Mouse. And I get the frustration with non-committal or vague answers about certain things, and there's always going to be stuff that we can and can't say. And I'd rather not lie to you guys and say that we're going to do something that we can't, or make promises that we can't.
And sometimes like we get really excited. We start going down a path, and then right before we think it could be ready to ship out, we're like, oh God, this actually doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work because you have to have the brand new, latest, greatest GeForce whatever card because that's what we're deving on. And when you roll it out on a lesser card, it just smokes.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, do we create a second render path for people with GeForce only hardware? And there's sometimes when R&D turns into nothing. Like we literally spend a 3-month dive on something. We come back at the end of it, and the answer is, well, that didn't work. Next idea.
Yeah. So and we're not a big team. We have to sort of focus on high impact things, 1 or 2 at a time. But that said, within the constraints of what can and can't be talked about, I'm on most of the Neverwinter Discords as Level 0 Luke, so feel free to @me, and I'm happy to talk with you guys. And as previously mentioned, we do talk to content creators like you guys in private channels where appropriate. Like we're working with Soren on shaders, and we're working with Symmetric on Neverblender and NWN Crunch. And so on. So like I want to be engaged with the community, you guys, and feel free to talk to me on those, but I can't say what I can't say.
4 minutes left.
Yes.
Will the 2.6 patch for SOD game for Android contain the Ukrainian localization?
So that is sitting at 98% currently in our translation portal. That remaining 2% needs to be finished before we can ship it out with 2.6. So the question basically is, who gets there first?
If the translation gets there before 2.6, it goes in.
Yep.
If it doesn't get there before 2.6, it can't go in.
Exactly.
So.
Yep.
Here's a question. Foldable smartphones are coming, possibly making your enhanced editions even more accessible to people. Are you excited, or does this pose a coding issue? Yes, it poses a coding issue. Every time Android updates, every time iOS updates, we find some new thing that they've disabled or changed or modified. If suddenly you can grab your phone screen and go like this and double it, we need to figure out, oh my God, what changed? We need some kind of notification into the game that the display has changed beyond just rotating it, which there's a system for. So there will have to be some kind of new hookup in new Android telling you when the phone display has popped open. And then we'll have to hook up to that and say, okay, resize the window. So the answer is, hey, that's kind of, oh my God, that's going to hose us so bad.
That's going to be a
That is usually what
nightmare
happens when new features come out.
Yeah, sadly, and you can bet that there's going to be massive changes to like aspect ratio and screen resolutions and stuff like that. It's completely de-standardized.
No, don't do that. We got a bunch of questions up here. Dan was just going to delete them because we're almost out of time. We got 2 minutes left. How many achievements will the official campaign have on start? Over or under 50?
Somewhere in that range. I don't know the number off the top
50.
of my head. Yep.
Any chance to add character stats for NWN EE, same like those in BG? Number of kills, most powerful enemy killed? No. Problem is the UI is a pain in the butt. We don't want to go there until we redo the renderer, which might redo the UI system, which might...
Yep.
God, there's layers upon layers of crazy there.
Wait until the render is
Business question time. How are mobile sales? Mobile's pretty good. In total sales, what are percentages for mobile? We can't really disclose that, but ballpark, mobile sales are a quarter of all of our other sales.
Which is pretty good for a PC
it's not bad.
primary company.
For considering that 10 years ago none of this existed, for it to be a quarter of our sales is pretty cool.
Okay.
On Trello, you adjusted VFX for characters ship, but you never actually introduced this feature. Looks like it was an error.
Yeah,
We accidentally
somebody
moved
moved the card. I'll move it back.
Yeah.
So that's being worked on by a volunteer that has not had time to finish.
How about adding portraits of NPCs, most important ones such as Erebeth, into the character created by default, so we don't have to download custom files for that?
Something we could do.
Never really thought about that. Will we get a Blastoise 3D Enhanced Edition, Trent? No. Blastoise 3D was that code base, man. Like it was written in Borland C++ in 1994. Regarding BG, was there a specific character class you had in mind when developing the game/story? Nope. We really tried to make it so that every class was a good option. So when the original development happened, it was like, imagine the party of 6 paladins. What would they do? Imagine the party of 6 mages. What would they do? So it was really about supporting all that. Dan just deleted all the questions, so I blame Dan. Apparently, we're out of time here.
Okay.
So
time to give away a shirt.
So let's give a T-shirt. The last shirt goes to Anastiel Original.
Anastiel Original. Congratulations.
Congratulations, you got the last shirt, and I don't think we can answer any more questions because we're out of time.
All right. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you again.